Place learners, this is our number 3 session, and today I prepared for you painting project. Just show you, which is painting with cotton buds or something similar, and create lots of dots where we can optically mix the colors. And I hope you enjoyed. It was great to see you last week with all your color wheels and how creative they were. Kind of materials you were using. Sometimes I would never really expected people to use. So that was great. And remember, you can always catch up if you're new to the group. You can catch up with our previous lessons. So if you just go to previous posts in our group, there's session number 1 and session number 2, which is in 2 parts. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and let's just dive in. Okay, so this is first part of the art session activity for today. So I already prepared images from the magazines. They can be any images as long as you can fit them on your paper size. We're going for human figure, and ideally those kind of figures that where you just use the outlines, you can still see it is a human figure. So here got the cutout already. So I have those 2 figures, and I'm just going to use them for outlining. But when I outline them, I want to alter them as well. So I don't want to just use them as they are. I will be adding features to them. And the point of this activity is to get those 2 images interacting with each other. So think about overlapping them, or maybe using reverse sides, so one is reaching towards another. Really depends on what kind of image you have and what kind of body language the figure is showing. So let me just outline my figures and show you how I'm going to work with them. Okay, so this is my first one. So when I take her off, this is what I'm left with. So sometimes you may decide to add some elements here. So I think I'm just going to add some decoration to her head. And her hands are very close to her body, as we can't see him. So I'm just going to follow this image here and make hands more visible. And the same here. Okay, that's my first one. And the second one, it's more like a sitting pose. So I will use her thing in here, and then I will use the standing again, the standing pose. So let me I'm just gonna get them touching here. And I can see here already it's not going to be visible, so I'm just adding those details for her. Okay, and then I'm going to use this one again, but turn it so I get different position, and I will overlap now this one into the sitting pose slightly. So this one I'm not bother with the hands or head, not adding anything. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So you have those figures, they are overlapping in some of the areas. And now we're moving to working with paint and cotton buds to fill those figures with color. The point is to look at the overlapping areas and using different color for each figure. But when it comes to overlapping areas or areas that are quite close, think about those two colors you be bringing together from two figures. So it's like people interacting when they together. What are we sharing? What one person brings to another, and another way around. How people create relationships. So with the colors and visual element, we can look at that. You can use one color for the figure, or you can use few colors to indicate clothing. So for example, you could have this one. I'm actually gonna add a line here. You could have something on this part and then something on the lower part, this one as well. Just gonna add here like a vest, but not here because it's overlapping. And this one here, we'll just add the neckline. And maybe get her hair visible. Okay, so this is what I've got, and now let's just move to filling them with paint and cotton buds. Okay, so I have some acrylic paint here, just standard acrylic paint. Now you have to again use what you have at home. You could be using ink. I think some watercolor will work as well if you don't mix with too much water, but anything that is a pigment will do. So I give you example with just standard acrylic paint. Household paint is another ingredient here that you are able to use. So like I said before, we're just using cotton buds instead of paintbrushes and filling those figures with small dots. And you can be overlapping colors as you do that, or just stick to one color. If you don't have any cotton buds, you could be using a toilet paper and just fold it into desired shape. That's another option. And just dab it and use this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to film the start because the process is quite time consuming, but that's the point of it, because you get quite involved in the process, and it's you repeat the action, so you may find yourself relaxing a bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to film start of this figure and maybe start of another one, and then I show you a finished piece. And remember about overlapping areas and getting different colors from different figures in those areas. Now also remember those dots, they can be very close to each other, they can be quite apart. So here I'm creating transition from yellow into red, so that'll be like creating orange by applying two colors in the same area. So it's optical mixing of the color. Sometimes you might want to go back to the area with more dots of slightly different color or corresponding color. So here I'm kind of bringing this orange a little bit higher. I'm going back to clear yellow. So here I progressed a little bit. I also mixed some dark, very dark blue, almost navy from black and light blue. And you can see how this area here is overlapping. I will show you some close-ups of a finished project so you can have a closer look. But bear in mind, you know, you build up, you may want to come back to some of those areas and start with smaller dots and then go with the bigger ones, or you may want to do gentle ones and then later on build up with more color. So it's really up to you. It's really good project for just allowing your brain and your mind to rest for a while and concentrate on doing something else. So just build up till you fill in all areas of the figures with different colors, overlapping colors, and I'm really looking forward to see how it looks for you. So let me just finish off and then I will do close up of the finished project. And if you wanted, you could take it further and use the outlines from your cutouts just to work inside those spaces. So then you won't get any lines, and you can again overlap those shapes over existing figures. So that's another option if you wanted to do it.